Welcome to the Transformation Institute's podcast for change. Here is our host, OMARI JAHI Aton.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Transformation Institute podcast for change. I'm your host, OMARI JAHI. Thank you for tuning in. We have a interesting conversation as we do every week. This week, we're going to be talking about, should parents be friends with their children? Should they be their friends? Should the parents be their friend? It's going to be pretty interesting. But let me bring in my co-host. Y'all welcome, Miss Brenda, Miss Kim, and Miss Darlene. Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome you guys to the show. Should parents be friends with their children?
Well, what
That's
define friend? Define friend. Let's
You
start
know
with
what
that.
friends are. You got friends.
But again, when you're talking about your kids, you're not talking about that type of friendship. Because with your friends, y'all sit there, y'all do things together, you talk. You ain't trying to do that with your kids.
There are parents that are like that. There are parents that are like that with their kids.
Well,
They smoke weed together. They go out to the clubs together. They go shopping together.
Shopping, yeah, because you want to go shopping with your kids, especially if you have a daughter. You might want to spend a mother-daughter day together. But like going to the clubs, if a family is having a party and if they're old enough, they're old enough, they can stop by. So I guess it's like, at what level are you talking about? Because if they're grown, like if they're in their 20s and 30s, they're going to come to the club if somebody having a party, because they can do that now. They can drink now. So it's like, at what level are you talking about being friends?
I think
go ahead, darling.
I think it's going to be basically what season that we are in, because I can remember saying to my kids all the time, I'm not your doggone friend. Okay, well, you ain't gonna talk to me, and then to get to a point in your life where like the kids get grown, and when they first start drinking or something nature, you're awkward. It feels awkward to watch them. And then it's another season in our life where we could be at the same place and they can have a drink and it does not bother me. I remember my mom always used to say, I'm not your friend. And now my mom is 80-something years old. Now me and my mom she literally texts me and say, you're my best friend. Because it's a different season though. Now, when she say, live long enough, now I understand the emotion that goes along with being a parent. So I think it's like seasons as part of it when we trust in season, and then it's a part of the season when the friendship is basically leadership, like you guiding your kids when they're younger.
Well, so I guess what you're saying is based on their age, like when they're under the age of what 21. Is being called adults, or 21 or something like that, right? Well, okay, we'll leave it at that for now, because I even think it goes beyond that. 21 ain't always an adult. If you're 21 and you still at your mama and daddy house, sleeping under their roof, and you ain't paying no bills and nothing like that, you ain't grown. I don't care how old you are.
But okay, turn around. But they can be 25 and 26 and still at home. Are they still not grown?
No, not until they on their own and paying some bills and taking care of what responsibility like grown people take care of. That's what grown people
in a minute. Do. I'm grown.
But even when they're grown, I always still will say, like, it's like I say, it's season, because even when the kids got grown, you're still not gonna curse in front of me. Still, even though if they slip up, they say excuse me, something of that nature. I still ain't doing it to my mom, who's 80-some years.
That's respect.
Right. That's respect.
But I'm saying, but my friend, but if it was my friend, is no words don't have no limit. I can say what I
exactly.
So
that's so the answer is no. We shouldn't be friends with our children.
No, it depends on how you look at it.
Well, okay, I get you saying, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Well, how do you look at it? That's my question.
What's interesting to me What's interesting to me is that I looked up some things, and I looked up the word friend. And in the first few moments of this podcast, Darlene said so many things that I wrote down. What the definition I got of friends says a person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexual or family relations.
Well,
Usually from the gate, when you talk about friends, nobody, we all know, got to know this. Oh, I got to stop saying we all know,
Right.
but
Right.
we should
when we
know.
could talk about our friends, when we say friends, in our heads, are we talking about our parents? Is that our first
No,
thought?
No.
no,
That is not our
no.
first thought. When we say something about our friends, no matter who we're talking to, the first thought is we're literally talking about a friend. Nobody would know unless we said that my mother is my best friend. And Darlene also said that some people say that, and they do, and it is kind of usually in a older age, or if it's a young. These are all my opinions here. And if it's in a younger age, it's because that person, they and their mother are so close that they probably do feel like that. I don't think it's a problem saying that my mom is my best friend. I don't think that's a real problem, but to literally be her best friend, and to, if she has no other friends, then I don't know, that's a little iffy, but that's with me. But then Darlene said something when we were younger. Remember our mothers used to say, I don't know if everybody's, but our mothers used to say, everybody's not your friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Oh yeah.
the mother told us, everybody's not your friend. So my thing is a respect thing. Um, my daughters and I thought about this when we talked about the topic, when we knew what it was going to be. I thought about, I was at my daughter's house on Sunday we had a family paint the pumpkin things. I drew my pumpkin on canvas and painted them, but they had real pumpkins. And um, and we were sitting around, and it was my two younger daughters, and some other grown people were doing stuff. And all I ever see when I go to any of my daughters or my son's house, I never have felt the friend thing. No matter what, it's always like, these are my children. I still
Your
call them children.
children. Yes.
Right. So that doesn't make it. There are some people who are, and that doesn't make me not close to my kids. You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
it's not
Right.
like we have toxic relationships, but we do know there are some parents and children relationship that are toxic, and they're not friendly with each other. So I don't know if we say they shouldn't be their friends, if the child calls their mother their best friend. I don't know. Well, it might mess them up to think that their mother and them cannot be friends. So I think it is different seasons, like Darlene said. I think it's seasons in life.
But you,
I really don't think. Hey, what's going on, Will?
Hey guys.
I
Hey,
just don't
Will.
think.
What's
I
up,
don't think
stranger?
that. I don't think that it's healthy for a parent. How can a parent discipline and guide and direct their friends? Like my friends can't tell me what to do. I mean, just
Well,
think about it.
in reality, a lot of parents who, if when they call their kids their friends and they're hanging out with them, like you said earlier, and they're smoking weed and they're drinking with them,
Yeah,
they
right.
can't tell them. They can't
Right.
tell them anything. A lot of those parents probably, this, my opinion, a lot of those parents probably start to call those kids their friends because it's like, if you can't beat them, join them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
Their kids were already doing this. Their kids were already a little disrespectful. Some of them are more disrespectful than others. Some parent friend relationships are more toxic than others. But some of these parents And I see a lot of this lately. I'm telling you guys, oh my God, it just kind of freaks me out. When you see like the mother has to, I've seen a mother with a young child. She keeps saying, come on, come on. I'm looking, I want to say, go get, but people not whipping their kids because of the governmental
Laws.
stuff,
Yeah.
and all of that. And it's creating monsters. There's kids in school saying things to teachers. And then, if they're talking like that to the teachers, they're going home and talking like that. So some of these parents are being these friends because they don't know what else to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's the big problem. And I think that goes to the core of the question. Should we parents be friends with their children? Like Darlene said, I know when I was growing up, my mama and daddy wasn't my friends, they wasn't my buddy.
But now
As you got older, though.
what I just said.
No, even when we got older, me and my mother were very close, and we did things together, but she was still my mother. There was a line. There was always a line there that I knew I bet not cross.
Right.
And it wasn't because she was gonna beat me up. She was too old to beat me up. It was because I respected her as my mother, and she raised me. She raised me to respect her as the parent.
Okay, what about with your dad? Did you get like, that's my buddy, that's my boy?
No. My father and I, we both are Masons, so we were in the same Masonic lodge.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And when I was a Boy Scout, he was a Scout Master. You see what I'm saying? So we did a lot of things together, but I wasn't his homie. We wasn't homies or nothing like that. When he went to go drink with his buddies, I wasn't there. You see what I'm saying?
I think you're saying something now, because when I first come on, I'm thinking, now that my mom is 80, we could talk about anything. And she called me her best friend. And then when Brenda went on and said, now I understand that it's not really a friend, because we'll never be equal. Because even when I talk to her, I don't talk to her. I don't cuss. I watch what I say and how I say it. I'm very, so that means that we'll never really be equal. And definitely when it comes to my grown kids, they will never be, they will never have equal,
on equal footing with you.
Right. So I guess we'll never be really friends. I guess this.
No, you can't be friends with your children, because in order to, if you're friends with them, then you can't guide and direct them. You see what I'm saying? You can't tell them no. That's I don't think that's the right person for you to marry. You see what I'm saying? Friend, if a friend said that to another friend, oh, you just hating. Like, you jealous or something to that effect. But parents should have some form of authority, even when you get older. Like, I didn't have to listen to what my mother said, but I wasn't gonna say, oh, Ma, just shut the hell up. You don't know what the hell you talking about.
Right.
I didn't dare say no crap like that. You see what I'm saying? But there has to be that respect there. But she was never my friend. Never. We loved each other. I loved her as my mother. And we loved each other. I loved my father as my father. But we were never friends. So I don't know where this thing comes from. About,
well, some people don't they don't see it deeply. Some people say it based on that, like Darlene said, they maybe they're younger, though, that they and their mom, they have gotten a little older, and now they and their mom can hang out a little bit together at in a different space. So they'll call, if they're having good times with their mom, they'll call her their friend, and maybe they don't, maybe they still have the understanding that she my friend, but she's my mama. You know, maybe they do. Some people can do that, but it seems to be lately there's so many the mothers who are really hanging out. You know, their dresses as short as their daughters. You know what I'm saying? They're getting their hair done the same way. You know, they're going to the nail shop and hanging out, and it's okay to go to the nail shop and hang out. You know, but when you're going as friends and hanging out at the mall, I think something switches in that, you know, and we can't say everybody's mental state, because some mothers were young mothers and who need to get that what they think they lost back. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's some mothers that hanging out with their kids because they're believing they didn't have the youth time, and now their daughters, they can hang out like friends and stuff. But I just think because the Bible says to honor your father and mother, and it has a promise that your days may be long in the land which the Lord is giving you. I believe that because that says that to honor your mother and father, that when you start to hang out, sometimes you can forget to honor your parents, you know, and things start to change. And I think that says something about your mother can't really be your friend. And how do you honor your mom when your mom is your friend? You know, that's just me.
Well, we have one of our listeners who Sasha, she says that I believe you can be friends with your adult children. See, now that goes back to what you were saying, Darlene. Adult children, and still have that authority over them because she has that with her children.
Okay.
So I mean, again, it's like there has to be that what would I call it? The boundaries have to be set when you're a young child, when you're younger, in order for when you grow up, for your child to be able to, you know, almost like they say, raise up a child in the way that they should go, and when they're grown, they won't depart from that way. See, if you at 5 years old being buddies with your little girl or with your little boys or whatever like that, and you grow up like that, when they get grown, all of a sudden you want to act like a parent and tell them what to do, and then they tell you what to go kiss, then we wonder where did that come from? But like what Sasha was saying, there has to be something put in place while that child was young, and so when they get older, you know, they could be I won't even call it friends. I'm not gonna say be friends with their parents, but we can have a relationship.
Right. And make sure that it's good. You have to make sure that you stay connected with them. Yeah, I mean I saw somebody saying something about I believe you should be a friend to your child. You're their number one safe place. I think that's what it says. You're their safe place as a mom. How many of us as moms, not you, Tyrone, but how many of us as moms, when we talk to our children, we try to gain their trust so that we know that how kids can be, they can get stubborn at certain ages. It goes back to like what Darlene said, their stages of this. When they're real little, you really kind of guide, help, you know, do a lot of stuff for them,
Discipline, yes.
You're starting to teach them. Then they get up to 11, 12, they're in a different realm, right? They're a little different. You got to talk a little different to them. You can't still talk that baby talk to them. You know, you can't pop their little bottoms. Now they got bigger bottoms. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
So but you got to know this. And I'm not saying you don't have a rapport. I would hate for a parent not to have some sort of rapport with their kid, to make their kid feel safe enough to come and tell them things. You got to know as a parent to do that. We're not talking about everybody not being friends with their kids. I guess we're talking kind of like when you put that title on there, and the title friends, it has its own title. Mom has its own title. So now you're mixing some things, you know? That yeah. It's getting a little awkward.
Well, but Vanessa chimed in. Y'all see what Vanessa's saying? She say, "Hey, family."
I can't even see.
Oh, you
Yeah, I
can
can
see that? Oh, y'all. That's because y'all on y'all phone.
Right,
Got that little
right.
screen.
Oh, all right.
But it says, she says, I agree with Sasha. However, I think we still have to make sure we remember our place and roles. We have to make sure we don't blur the lines. Respect is first and foremost. That's exactly what we're saying. You know, and a lot of times when you try to be their friends, you begin to blur the lines of your role in their life as a parent. You got a role that you're supposed to play. And if you become their friend, you no longer can play that role any longer as being their parent. And then we wonder why the children go to hell and why they acting the way that they're acting and things of that nature. You know, it's based on we're not doing the things as parents that we're supposed to be doing in order to make our children better adults as they grow up, or maybe I could say balanced adults as they grow up. You know, we're just not doing it.
Yeah, I think a lot of it came too that some of they say it's traditional that we do certain things because my mom did it, I do it. And I think they start subtracting a lot of things off of their own emotion. I think we should, we don't keep certain things in the new age want to be the friend because they're trying to subtract some of the things that we had going on. You didn't. You do what's this? It was old saying, "Do as I say, now what I do." Something.
Oh, yep. Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah,
Right.
And it was or they stand on the word and they say, "I'm gonna get that." No matter what time of the day they're gonna get, they stood on there when they say they're gonna get you. So a lot of people try to subtract that discipline action, or standing on your words, or that strictness, and that's where to me you become the friend. You thinking that you're getting your child the ability to voice their opinion or be in safe place to say anything, and that's where I think we crossing. It's no boundaries. It's no.
I mean, at a certain age, children will try you, like my son. Yes, now I think my son he had to be in his
teens,
early teens. I mean, like 11,
13.
12, 13, round, round up in there. You know, and he got to puffing his chest up, smelling himself and feeling himself or whatever. And I had to get in his face, and put the fear of God in him. I didn't touch him or anything. It was just how I was, how like a lot of these kids don't know nothing about this. How a parent can just look at you and it's a certain way how they look at you, and you be like, oh shit.
Right.
Yeah.
You freeze right quick and be like, oh damn, she ain't playing. He ain't playing. Let me calm the F down, And I'm saying that this is the thing that these kids are missing. Somebody like that in their life that's not going to let them just do what the hell they want to do with no circumstances and no consequences or nothing. And then you got these laws that they're creating saying that you can't do for them what makes them good citizens as they grow up. They don't want you to do that because they want them to be wild. They want them to be crazy. They want them to do all this crazy stuff. And see, but I wasn't gonna have my son that I got right in his face. And I'm like, well, what you gonna do, sir? What you gonna do? Swing, I dare you. Swing at me.
Oh, so you were beating up the poor son? Oh my God.
I didn't touch him. I didn't have to touch him.
But that's why that old traditional way that it's a fear. It's a fear with respect, and the new generation don't believe in
fear and respect. Yes,
that fear in they.
But see, that fear as you get older grows into love and respect.
Yeah,
you would think that.
It does.
But nowadays, it doesn't work like that.
What do you mean?
These new age kids, meaning our kids and them raising their kids, it's like what you call the millennials, the way they think is totally different. They be like, oh, what y'all do is it's not like that no more. You know, you can't do that no
Yeah.
more. You can't do it. So they're too busy trying to hang with their kids and try to be friends with their kids. They're not understanding that you have to put the fear into them. No, because that's not the way it has to do things. You don't understand things. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. You are in a new age. You raise your kids the way you want to raise your kids. Because
Bull. I
these
disagree.
kids, I'm telling you, society has got this. Our kids, I want to say the kids that's the millennials, that's in their what 30s, early 30s.
My son is one of them.
Their thought process is totally different. Early 30s into the millennials and the Gen, whatever they call them, Gen Zs or whatever they call,
Hmm.
their thought process is totally different.
But
They
I don't
don't
agree with that. My son is
I
a is
understand we don't agree, but that's how it is.
But
Like
it's
let's
not
no,
say
every,
your
you
no.
know,
son,
it's not every child, but you still got to be who you are. You still got to be the parent. Those kids, those who are in
Exactly.
their 30s, you still was over them when they were growing up. So yeah, they can
right, and
come
those
back with
kids
those.
are now having their own kids. That's what I'm saying. And
Oh,
they're
so
raising
you
their kids
okay?
totally different. Totally different.
Well, it
And
depends
you
too.
cannot control or you cannot have any input on how they're raising their kids.
Oh yes, you can.
You still can
I
have
mean, you can, but at the end of the day, they're gonna raise their
They're
kids the way
gonna
they
do
want to
right.
raise them.
They're gonna do what they want. But that's how they always were. When they were younger, they listened to you half the time, and at the end of the day, I mean, sometimes even us, didn't we have to get a little older to to respect some of the stuff that they had said to us before? We had to get a little older. Keep talking, keep saying, keep standing on how you are with the respect. They will not move me. Nobody will. My granddaughter sometimes say, "Oh, here comes grandma." You could say, "Here comes grandma," all you want to, cause here comes grandma. And and we know enough. I'm not going to browbeat them. We're not going to do like our grandparents or some did with us. We do things a little different, but I'm standing on what I'm standing on. Even my kids today, they've grown. I don't do it much now. My baby girl is 40 years old, 41, 40. Anyway, 41. But I remember uh, even like last year or year before, we go to someone's house. If I don't hear them behind me say, speak when they come in or something, and they before I could even get it out, if I turn around and get them a look, they say, "Mom, we spoke. You still doing that?" You know what I'm saying? So you stay true to who you are, and baby, cause some of these kids, some of those 30s and 40s or 20 something, they're gonna need to see somebody standing on something. Cause all around us is
Mhm.
craziness. They're gonna have to see somebody. So hey, send me. I'll go.
Hey, Brenda, you are exactly right. Now, I remember telling you guys this story about my granddaughter, and people were saying that I was wrong about saying this. She had came over to our house with this bra on. That's what I call it. It was a bra. And some pants on, but the stomach was out because the bra didn't cover the whole stomach. It wasn't a top, it was a bra. I mean, that's what it looked like to me. And I'm like, where's the rest of your damn clothes? Don't embarrass her like that. You embarrass her. But do you know she don't wear that crap over here no more? Every time she come over here, she be covered.
And even
You
if she
see,
wears it somewhere else, she's not wearing it around you, right? Right.
exactly. And that's
Somebody
respect.
got to stand. Somebody,
You see what I'm saying? Because I'm standing on a principle. And if nobody stands on principle, then they do what they want.
Mhm.
You
We're
see?
susceptible to all the stuff, the consequences of that. We're living in the world with these people. So we ain't got nothing in our world that we can stand to show. So if we just give in and say, you know what, even with our grandkids, if our kids are raising our grandkids totally contrary to how they were raised, you as a grandparent uh,
Yeah.
still has some kind of say. Not like I said, it might seem like your grandkids not listening. It may seem like it, but if you don't say nothing, they can't listen to nothing. They can't hear
Right.
nothing.
Exactly.
And all they gonna
Exactly.
know is the craziness of this world. Because there's some other people out here that's still standing. Ain't nowhere in the world people gonna stop me. People can fall off and say, I don't like her no more. My grandkids can say, I don't like grandma. They can say that if they want to. Grandma gonna still love them. And grandma still gonna say something. I got a granddaughter. I'm trying not to do like Tad said, you put them out there and people gonna say something about it. I'm not gonna say, but I got a bunch of granddaughters, so nobody will know who it is. But I got a granddaughter who told me one day, she said, we were in the car together and I was fussing at the traffic, and this girl told me, you need to smoke because you be freaking out.
Oh,
I told
no.
her, me and her
Is this
hang out a lot.
granddaughter
I
old enough to smoke?
told me that, yeah, she's old enough to smoke.
Okay.
She talking about smoking, she talking about smoking weed, right?
Right.
She told me that I was freaking out, that I'd be freaking out, hollering at the, and fussing about the traffic. Man, I almost stopped in the middle of traffic. I turned around, I said, don't you ever again in your life tell me that I need to smoke weed. I love her. We can hang out. We can still hang out. But you don't tell me. I wouldn't have never told my grandmama she needs to smoke weed.
Right.
Even if
Right,
I
because
thought
you're
she
not
needed
her friend. You're not her
Man.
friend for her to be able to tell you that. That's
She
been the
felt
problem.
comfortable so she could say that. And that's
I
the
don't
problem.
know
These
why.
kids feel comfortable to where they can say any and everything they want to say.
And
Because
so you make them
society has got them
uncomfortable.
like that.
You make them uncomfortable. Yes, the government says that if you beat your kids, you're going to jail. You can't do this
Society
to them.
got
You
them
can't
like
put them out
that.
the house. Yeah, but the government can't. No, they gonna have to come take them out the house then.
Well, I mean, what the government say don't matter to me. It don't.
I mean, it does if the kids start to go and go and call police and stuff. Then you are caught up in stuff. But
you'll get through it.
Well, my son tried to say some crap like that, and you know what I told him? I told him, you got to make it to the phone. That's exactly what I told him. If you can make it to the phone and call the police on me, then go right ahead. There it is, right over there. Go over here. Let me see if you can make it.
Not realizing by you doing that, you're opening up a whole can of worms that you're not ready to face.
What do you mean?
When you call the police, no, because when you call the police, now you're bringing in legal matters.
Oh yeah.
They're
The
not
child don't know
understanding that. They're not
Right.
understanding that. Now you're bringing in legal matters. Now you're putting a record on me. Now we got to go to court. Now you're looking at costs, lawyers. So you be careful when you want to call 911.
Right.
Think about the
Or
consequences.
you could get taken out of the home if you're young.
Yes.
They don't be wanting to be taken out of the home. They don't even know that they don't want to be taken.
But
You need to think about all of that.
Well, I think you still got to go through it because I'm one of them parents that got called.
They got called?
What you mean got called?
Yeah, they called on me. Yeah, I'm one of those parents that got
oh my goodness. Oh, we got a call on the line.
Okay, but it's okay though. I mean, you walk through it. I stood my grounds and I got to do whatever I got to do to make sure that the kids are good. So you don't have to deal with them when they turn 16 and 17 and you ain't gonna be calling me come to the police station.
Right.
So you have to stand your grounds on the end. Not fearful of the government stepping in or calling 911, do what you got to do, but I'm still gonna set the rules, and it is beyond my kids or my grandkids. It's even neighbor. If I feed you, if I give you money, if I pour into you, that means so and so down the street kid. It's the same thing. I mean, you're gonna respect. It's a certain.
Yes, and see, and this is what's not being enforced. We're not forcing our children to respect us. See, you have to make them respect you. And you're already doing the things that gives you the respect. You take care of them. They know what we do for them. They see exactly what we do. When I had to get up in the morning, I was tired and everything, and get up in the morning and get in my car in the cold and take my son to school, and then go back and pick him up from school and take him to football practice and things of that nature. It's like they see what you do for them. They see it. But the thing is that as they get older, they begin to believe, and this is just my opinion, they begin to believe that they should have rights, you know, and then the world is out here feeding this crap to them like they got rights. No, hell no, you ain't got no rights. Not while you under my roof, you ain't got no rights. The only rights you got to do is do what the hell I say. That's the only rights you got. And if you don't like those rights or those rules and this and that and other, the door right there. My mother used to say, let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. You know?
So in all honesty, would you, when you're talking to them and tell them that they can go, as parents, I mean, I think I've said that before, but even when it came out of my mouth, I didn't want my kid to go out that door. Right, I didn't really want them to get into the streets, you know, and we say some things. So I think I'll say changed over time is as they age, it's a different way to talk to them. You still have to stand your ground, but it's a different way to talk. I remember I put my son, my only son, I told him he had to go because when he got close to 16 or 17, he kept coming in late, sneaking in, you know, getting in the house without me knowing, but, you know, messing up curfew. And it's like they not listening to you. If you know, we get a threat a couple of times, right? And then it's like the 3 strikes you out, and then you let the 3rd strike go. But on the 4th strike, it was like, and I got to do something because he's not taking me serious. And then he stayed around the corner from us at my brother's house for a little while. I think he was uncomfortable there, you know. So sometimes you do have to go through with the threat, you know, because some of these kids will they will try you on the threat, you know, but let them get out there and see what's happening now is when the mom is trying to be their friend. I mean, some of them might be scared too that the kid might get out there, you know, and so they just let a lot of stuff happen. But I bet you that in that household, there's a lot of other stuff going on. They can look like everything's good and cool, but if you in a house where the kid and you kind of do the same things, and the kid get away with murder, and the kid come in whenever they want to, y'all drinking, do something together. Come on, y'all. What can that look like?
Well, okay, but let me ask you, let me piggyback on what you just said, Brenda. When you said when the kids, you know, y'all drinking whatever have you, with the adult kids, you know, these kids are past 25. You know,
but
they out on their
no,
own.
they're not kids anymore. When you can't call them kids no more.
They're not kids. Your kids.
They're still your kids, right? Okay.
Right. So is it okay to have drinks with them? You know, they come over, they want to have, you know, drink some wine, like take a shot.
Yeah, no. I think that, yeah. Oh yeah, I think that's okay because I mean, long as you're not always sitting with them getting drunk and drinking. That's just like someone asked me the other day, with their face frowned up. Do you think ministers should drink? I think they should have a drink if they want to. I don't know why. I don't know why people think that. Because they're men of God, that they can't drink. I don't know. So I go to my daughter's house, and my daughter has some sort of machine that makes this stuff up, and she'll say, "Mommy, do you want a drink?" She says, "Mommy, do you want a drink?" And I say, "Oh, I'll have one." And we had that drink, but we're not going to the bar and drinking up. And you know, even at if it's my birthday, we're not taking a bunch of shots together. And I mean, I draw the line at some things, but that's just me. And that's not saying that a mother is bad if she takes shots with the daughter at the bar. I'm not saying she's bad. I'm saying I think it gets bad when anything is excessive and out of hand, and then you start slurring and talking to each other any kind of way and all of that. So, and this is just my opinion. So yeah, I'll have a drink at my daughter's house with my daughter. Yes, I will.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I agree that it's based on the relationship between the parent and the child. You know, like I don't drink anyway. I'm not a drinker. You see what I'm saying? And so there's no way me and my son is going to be drinking together. Now,
you don't drink though, right?
Right, but now let's look at this. I also I also don't play cards with him.
No. And why is that?
Yes.
Because see, that gets into a whole, that gets into the friend thing, kind of like it starts, because when you're playing cards, you can talk smack to the other person and this and that and another, you can get, oh man, I finna whoop your butt. Oh, I ran, oh, I got you. See, I did. No, you ain't finna do all that with me because I might start feeling some kind of way.
So you just want a total separate relationship with your son.
There
You don't
is a
want to sit
separate.
there and fix on no cards. You don't want to sit there and mow no grass. You don't want to sit there and do nothing.
No, I didn't say nothing about mowing grass. I said
I'm just throwing scenarios out there, so you don't have nothing to do with your son.
No. I'm saying that he ain't gonna mow no grass with me, no way, because these kids is lazy as hell. They ain't finna. He ain't finna mow
so
no
you
grass.
allow that, though? You allow that, huh?
Allow what?
That they can be lazy and don't mow grass.
No. It's not that I allow it or disallow it. I'm trying to show you the difference between when your relationship with your children shouldn't get into games. And what I mean, listen to what I'm saying. Wait a minute,
I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Wait a minute, brother. Let me. Don't jump to conclusions. Let me explain.
All I jumped to was what you said, that you shouldn't, when it starts playing games.
You had a conclusion based on what I said, but I wasn't
game. Okay, go ahead.
But it's not like board games, Brenda. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about these kind of games that you play with grown ups, grown people. See, we're in different age brackets. I think you said that, Kim. About no, Darlene, I think she said it first.
Right, she said this was different seasons.
Right, it's different age brackets. And if I started hanging out, like say if my son had his friends over and they all in the backyard and they kicking it, and say we had a basketball hoop in the backyard and they out there playing basketball. Here I come. I want to come out there and play basketball with them. I'm gonna smoke a joint with them. I'm gonna laugh and joke about
smoke the joint.
Right. You can be old school against new school. Come on now.
Yes.
Listen to what I'm saying. To me, that crosses the line between that crosses a line. Just like if in my generation and our card players, I'm not saying that the other generations don't play cards, but you can't play cards, or I'm not playing cards with you because that's something that me and my peers do. Now you and your peers may play cards, but you and your kids got a table. Your peers got a table over there. It's just like bid, whist, and spades. Spades. People that play spades can't come over here and sit at the bid, whist table. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference. And we don't, if we can't recognize the difference, we begin to blur the lines, between what is appropriate for us to do with our children and what feels good. See, a lot of times we just do what feels good with our children. We don't give a damn whether it was appropriate or not.
So you don't think that playing the game of spades, I watch my parents play spade, and I watch them play tongue and pitty pat and the shit talking and stuff, smack talking, whatever. And then as I get older, but it's certain things that you learn from watching them. And I know that even though I currently have not played spade or that kind of game with the kids in a while, I know that they picked up some things from me, from watching me or sitting next to me as we was playing. From checkers to throwing the football. I don't see nothing wrong with interacting with the kids as the competition, and even just like you said, old school versus new school. Right. I just think it make it unwind, and you want to have a good time without. I'd rather for them to have a good time in that point without them. I ain't smoking no weed with you. Right. But we can have a good time without that left stuff.
Well, I agree. Yeah, I agree with that, Darlene. I agree with that. But it's how you raise them. You see, if you raise your children in a way that they know that there is a line, and you didn't draw the line. They know where the line is, just like we knew where the line was. And if you raise your children where they know where that line is, so because see, when you're playing cards, you know, it gets real emotional. Sometimes you get mad. Sometimes you know, we just ran a Boston on your MFNA, you know, and then don't say, oops, oh, I'm sorry, Dad. You know what I'm saying? And then if they do say, you be like, oh, don't worry about that. We playing cards. That ain't nothing, okay? So now you can say anything you want to in front of me.
But you got the boundaries still there. Like I said, I played with my mama, but I still cannot cuss in front of my mom. And then when my kids, they know they can't cuss in front of me. So it's still having a good time interacting with them, but we still have boundaries. And even like when you go and you say, well, can you have a drink? Well, once in a while, I will have a drink with the kids once in a while. But it ain't no regular for us. It's not. I'm mom. I'm mom, but sometimes we do interact and have a good time.
A really good time. A really good time with them. And it does go back to the boundaries have already been set, because my daughter and I, only one of my two of my daughters played bid, I think. No, yeah. But I got my middle daughter, Quiana, who plays bid with me. She will not play with me sometimes because of my attitude, but she has never disrespected me at the table. I have never disrespected her at the table. And I like it that they like to play cards. My baby girl doesn't play cards at all, I think. But I play spades with them only if there's just nobody else there to play bid. I'll play spades with them. But we have a good time, and it'd be a family time. And there's no even if we talk about we beat them, it's a way we talk. And you know what? And I just thought about that when Ty said that. I have never told them nothing beforehand. Like when we're getting ready to do this, I have never said to them, and don't be cussing and don't be. I've never had to say it, never once in my life. But they know when we get together, we do that. My younger grandkids are not playing cards. They're in a different realm. None of them play bid or spades or anything. I just thought about that right now, that none of them play. But when I'm with them in a scenery like that, even though my grandkids, even though they hate to see me coming sometimes when I say something about the way they dressed or the eyelashes that they have on, that look like they about to fly away, even even though they know I'm gonna say something, it's a way. And so I think it has to be that you established yourself a long time ago. I have some little bitty are they my nieces, nephews, some younger now, that I see that there's going to be a problem, you know, because they are not, they don't remember your boundaries. They don't care about your boundaries. Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. My little nephew tonight, he's 3 years old. He came into my house. I gave him some chips earlier. He came into my house, went into my kitchen and got him another bag of chips. I said, okay. I said, you got to say thank you. He was going out the door. He looked at me. I said, you got to say thank you. He shook his head and went out the door. He's 3. You know what I did? I went out the door behind him. He was getting down the stairs faster than me. I got all the way down the stairs and I went in the house and I took my chips back. Cause now he got to learn. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then I thought about it. I felt bad. I bet his 14-year-old brother probably was saying she ain't have to take his chip. But yes, I did. You know why? Because yes, y'all, he was staring at me. This boy talks all the time. He knows stuff. So you stared at me and you just took my chips. And then I told you, and you looked at me like, you know, like he looked at me twice and went out the door. And I told him, when you get ready, come upstairs and get these chips. He ain't been back up here, so he don't get the chips.
Well, hey, but guess what? He learned not to F with you.
He gonna learn. If he ain't learn today, he gonna learn today.
The youngest, I got the youngest 2. Well, one is 2. One of the granddaughters 2. One of them is 4. One of them just made 1. But I tell them all I'm the original. So when they start having them tempers, I let them know I'm the original one. So keep that. I just want to keep that fear. You know, I think fear of the parent and fear of God.
See, but that's it. Fear and respect are the same.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, because fear ain't really beating them up, right? It's
no,
right.
Yeah,
You're disciplining him.
It's
See
a
what you
consequence
did,
of your behavior.
Brenda, was discipline him. You showed him that you don't come in here and take nothing without saying thank you.
Thank you. I mean, I let him go get it.
You see what I'm saying? It wasn't the fact that you didn't even say, did you ask me for that?
Right. I didn't even say that either. Right.
You just said, say thank you. You know, and he didn't want to do that. But he know now that if he wants something from you and you give it to him, he better say thank you or you'll take it back. He know that now.
And I think we need to stand on our ground for our next generations, because we can't fault the mothers who be friends with their kids to keep other stuff at bay. We can't fault them because we don't live in their shoes. We don't know what happened in their lives. But I always believe teaching by example, living around people truthfully, you know what I'm saying? Because there are some people that never says anything to stuff they frown their face and they talk about it behind the back. But I believe we gotta live in a time where when you're standing on something, everything has to be done with love. We didn't always do it that way. Sometimes we say stuff the wrong way. We holler at them, you know. We say, we curse. We done something, you know. I think that sometimes that messes up some kids, you know, even though our mamas probably cussed at us sometimes, we were a little harder. But I do believe that we got to stand on the ground. We got to stand on something. We got to, man. Or we'll be messed up living in this world with these kids.
But we do get soft. We get softer over life. Over time, because when the older kids is growing up, the ones in the 30s and 40s, when I said something, I stood on it. And if I say I'm gonna get you, I got you. But then when it comes to the new kids,
grandkids,
and I had to tell the youngest boy, I would say something to him like 5 times. I'm gonna get you. Okay, if you don't stop it, I'm gonna get you. I would say like 5 times. And the older kids is wondering, well, why do you give him so many passes? Like if the new generation kids, I gave them money just off GP. The other kids, they didn't they didn't get no money. They had to just do certain chores. I just think we change. We get softer.
I don't think we get softer. You know what I think it is? I think we become wiser. We become wiser. We understand that there's a better way of doing things because we've experienced a lot of stuff in life. Okay. We've experienced that being impatient a lot causes more problems than it is just.
No, kids don't see that like that, though.
No, I'm talking about us. I'm saying
those other kids think that we were too soft for the younger kids. We was hard on them and we soft on these kids. They don't see that as wiser.
Well, they will when they become us. Because see, we said the same thing about our parents.
Yeah.
We said the exact same thing. You know.
Y'all see, Isha said fear and respect is not the same. So
that's why I left it up there, because I wanted to address that. I said that. I said fear and respect. Now, and I want to explain what I meant by that. Because see, when you fear, you only fear a thing that you respect. If you have respect for something, and that's why I say it's the same, it's just on different levels. As really small children, they have to fear your authority. And as they get older, that fear turns into respect, but it's the same thing. And what do I mean? They listen to what you say and they do what you say based on the respect they have for you. But when they were younger, they listened to what you said and they did what you said because they feared what would happen if they didn't.
Right. They feared the consequences. Because even biblically, what does it talk about? fearing God, doesn't it? And we know we shouldn't be scared of God, but we have a fear and a reverence for God. You know,
Exactly.
people who don't have that do whatever they want, thinking that grace abides. You know what I'm saying? So it's not fear per se. Like when you're disciplining them, when you're putting the fear of God in them, you're putting something in them to make them not want to do something. You're not really like, I mean, some parents probably are, some, but that's not what you meant here, is what we're saying. Okay. All right.
So it's time for our closing
Isha said no.
Okay, Isha, we agree to disagree. Isha says fear is when a child is afraid of you and scared to come to you and talk to you about anything.
There's two different kinds of fear.
Yeah, that's a different kind.
That is a fear. That is.
That fear does exist.
Yeah, that does.
But it's two different kinds, because you fear God, but when you're in trouble, you're gonna go to God.
Right.
So you have to see how do you define that fear.
Okay.
And maybe that's probably a whole nother conversation we need. What she said here, she says, respect is when you feel safe and come talk to you about any and everything. So I guess what she's saying is that when a child fears their parents, they don't come to them and talk to them about anything. And when they respect them, they come to them and they talk to them about anything and everything.
Yeah, but the fear we were trying to talk about, we weren't talking about beating them into doing what we want or scaring them into doing what we want. We were putting out commands for you to do what I said, or there's some consequences. So that it is two different types of fear. But I understand what she's saying, because some kids never ever come back to their parents, and some kids have been scared that their dad was going to beat them to death, so they don't come to them.
They ain't gonna come to them. That's true. But like you said, it's a different kind of, and I believe it has a lot to do with the age of the child. As children, as our children get older, their fear of us changes. Or maybe I shouldn't call it fear, because it's really not fear, even though it is, because it's hard to explain it, but y'all know what I'm saying. It changes and it turns into respect and love, because they begin to see that everything that you was telling them and everything that you was doing and why you were doing it. Because when they get older and they have kids, they begin to say, oh, damn, I see what my mama was talking about. I see what my daddy was talking about this particular situation, about that, as they get older. And then that what they felt for you, which might have been fear as a young child, turns into respect and love, because they understand now what you were doing and why you were doing it. You see, so we got about a couple of minutes. Let's get some closing thoughts. What are your closing thoughts on this topic?
I would say my closing thought is stand your ground. No one's perfect, but we're just doing our best out of love for our kids. But stand your grounds as far as keeping the boundaries for the proper season, the right season. Just stand your ground.
Amen. Anybody else?
Yeah, I like to say that to the mothers who think that we were saying don't be your kid's friend. We're talking about friend, or I am talking about friend in the way of girl, we kicking it, girl, we this. I think you need to have friendly ground with your children. I think that's a must have. But always let it be respectful, and always, you are always their mother. That friend sometimes need their mother. So always know who you are and what you are to your kids. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not your kid's friend if you know the meaning of friend in your relationship. So be happy, be blessed, and stand your ground, like Darlene said. My closing thought.
Kim?
My closing thought would be to have a parental friendship with your kids as they get older, because, like you said, Tyrone or Darlene was saying, there's levels to the friendship, and between the ages of their growing ages and their adolescent ages, and their young adult and their adult ages. So, as they get older, you just trends into a parental friendship with your kids.
Mm-hmm. Most
Good.
definitely.
Good.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I really like all of you guys' closing thoughts. I agree with everything, and I ditto everything you guys said, because it's the truth. And I believe, I'm hoping, maybe I should say this, I'm hoping that this conversation helps some parents to be able to see some things in their relationship with their children, in order to make things better. We cannot, and I'm gonna say this, and this is the conclusion of my closing thought. We cannot raise children by being their friends. We have to be their parents. We have to be their parents in order to raise them. That's my closing thoughts.
All righty.
All right, guys. I thank you all for being here. Wait a minute. Vanessa had a closing thought, y'all. She was on here. Vanessa's closing thought from afar. From afar, really. Show your children so much love that they feel like you are their friend. Demand so much respect that they don't easily blur the lines.
Wow,
Amen.
good one.
Vanessa from afar.
Beautiful.
Good one, Vanessa.
Right.
Love that, Vanessa.
She do real good better away from home.
Hope you feel better.
Right?
Get back next week.
All righty, guys.
All right, y'all have a good one. Until next week. Thank you. Who all we had on here? We had Peaches, Vanessa, Isha,
Sasha Williams, wasn't it?
Yeah, is it Chandra?
Sasha, who's Sasha?
Sasha, yeah. That's Darlene's daughter, ain't it?
Mm-mm.
That's not your daughter?
No.
That's her friend. That ain't her daughter. That's her
Oh, okay. Maybe. Okay.
Oh no, this your daughter here, Yolanda.
Yolanda.
Yeah, that's your daughter. Okay, Sasha. But thank you for being on, Sasha.
All right.
And that's it. Until next week, you guys. We constantly thinking for a change. Until next week.
All right.
Thanks for supporting our podcast. We look forward to see you next Thursday at 8 p.m. We also ask that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. The more subscribers we have, the more YouTube will push our podcast to more viewers. But until then, subscribe also for a peaceful mind. Your activity will reflect that peace.